Hi there, Ron here, Variable Play, and welcome to another Open Game Night.
Open game night, hey
Hey,
folks.
Open
hey,
Good
Game Night.
evening.
What's
hey,
Hey,
up?
hey.
what's up?
What's
Okay.
up?
Hey,
Hey, hey,
hey, hey.
hey.
So,
Dude,
good evening, everybody.
good evening. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Hello, hello,
What's up,
hello.
everybody?
What's
Sorry.
up? What's up? Yeah.
I haven't finished my duties.
Yeah, your marketing,
You're,
I have to do
you're
my duties. But hey, welcome,
goodies.
everybody. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of Open Game Night. I'm Denmark, and
mm-hmm,
on
mm-hmm.
my left
Left.
is,
Other
is
side.
Ron.
Okay,
What? I think
Ron.
oh, okay. Yeah,
There you
and
go. And then
Ron here.
me.
whatever. However that goes.
Okay. Tito Kilo here, as always,
Kia, show
ready
them
to
your
serve
new
you.
toy.
Wait, new toy, my
Show
new
them your
toy.
toy.
There it is. Wolverine mask. Wolverine and the claws over there. Doesn't take
Nice,
much
nice.
imagination to see what I'm gonna be on Halloween, huh?
Ah,
Deadpool? You're gonna
well,
be
true,
Deadpool.
true.
No, I'll be Captain
Hey,
America.
Desky. Hi, Desky.
Hey, that's
Hey,
good.
Desky.
Good evening. Woo, we're kind of late,
Uh,
boys.
yeah, but it's so traffic,
So traffic.
isn't it?
It's
It
so
is. It is. It
traffic.
Outside.
is. So traffic.
So if you are in traffic right now and you're just stuck there, thank you for joining. joining. Hey, join us in our
You can still listen
conversation.
to us. That's okay. Like a radio.
So what have you guys been playing today? I know it's a hectic week. We had a hectic week. Well, I had a hectic week last week, but I know some of you guys have, a few things that you have game nights and you got a little game time on you. I saw Ron have
Mm.
his Star. I forgot. I was
S-
supposed to play that
Star Tycoon.
Star Tycoon.
Yeah, Star
There you go.
Tycoon. You
Yeah, yeah.
sleeved it.
So I got to play it a couple of times now since I sleeved it, and it is um, it's really a fascinating game. You light, but it's not gateway. In the sense that the rules are very simple, but there's a few layers. You have a lot of options you can do in a turn. You can purchase, and purchase kind of branches out. You can purchase planets, you can purchase new developments for those planets, you can purchase partnerships, and then so that's on purchase. You can do a bit of stock market where you're buying, trading those goods, paying, selling, and trading. But it has this really brilliant sort of self check mechanism. So you can only purchase from a row, meaning development rows or planet rows, as long as they're full. So even if you have enough resources, you cannot spam. You're sort of going strategic on what you can buy. It kind of leaves everybody else still good options, so you can only get the best of what you can for that turn, for that row. And then same thing goes with the market when you're manipulating the market. What's really interesting is because you work as a company. It's your startup.
Tycoon.
Exactly, and you have this galactic corporation. So you have some company goals, some KPIs over here, and then every planet that you acquire, you will also have some planetary goals. So what's so interesting about it is the goals, or to score, basically a planet would say, oh, I want to have this type of resource in this planet, and if you do, you get this much points if you're able to do it. Because of all of these small bits of targets, it's actually influencing the market in a more natural way that I've ever seen in any game that has a stock market in it. In every other stock market game, it has this very speculative, oh, I think they're going to sell that. I'm going to get some of those resources so I can sell it. That's not how the game works. The stock market is sort of this moving thing simply because that's the demand of what they've been acquiring to. So if just so happened that all of you decided that, oh, okay, I'm going to build an engine that has a lot of money, well, guess what? The stock market's going to be more expensive because every one of you is going to be able to buy resources. So everything just keeps going up because everyone keeps on buying. But it also doesn't matter because it's kind of balancing out because everyone's kind of in that space. And when you're all heavy on production, you're all trying to selling, same goes. So now there's an abundance of that good in the market. And also, again, you're not entirely like heartbroken. Oh, I have too many of this, of gas or minerals. That's okay. I have too many of those. End of the day, you're trying to get the requirements to build those developments and achieve your company goals. It's such a simple game, yet we don't notice the time. It's one of those games where you start it and you go, okay, so this is how it works.
How long
And
did
then,
it take you?
So it's supposed
Basic
to be
game.
around a basic game should be around an hour and a half, but
Should.
people enjoy it too much that it extends. It extends to maybe 2 hours, simply because people are like kind of really enjoying the time of deciding what to get. Mechanically, there are 12 turns in the game. In every turn, you have 3 actions. So there's a substantial amount of decisions there that you have to do. So maybe you're spending 2 minutes on your turn, but it doesn't. It's okay. And even if you're waiting for your turn to come back, you're there trying to like figure out what am I gonna do. Oh, and there's one aspect that Denmark. I told Denmark as soon and when we met. Oh, this is something you will really like. So most economic simulation games is that you have some economic engine, you produce money, you buy resources, and then you start investing and then do that cycle. Here, production is only at the start of the round. There's 4 rounds, and each round there's 3 turns. So what's so interesting about it? It's budgetarian. You get all of your resources at the start of the round, and then you have 3 turns to spend them. And so you're going like, okay, so what is my plan? What am I gonna do? And it has this so cute, but at the same time, you can take loans, sure. And if you manage to make up the loan, pay it by the end of the before the new round comes in, you don't have to pay interest. But if you do, the interest isn't so bad. So it's a very interesting thing also that they're not making loans painful, but you can only have one active loan at a time. But yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty. Anyone who gets to play it comes out quite satisfied, quite surprised on how easy and fast it clicks, and you just get into this rhythm. And then finally, in that last rounds and turns of the game, you have all of these resources that you were able to accumulate, and then turn one of that last round, you spend, and you're going, okay, I don't have enough budget anymore for the others. Wait, how am I gonna complete that? How am I gonna do that target? How am I gonna? And then you start working your way
When
backwards.
you were explaining this, and when I read how the others reacted to the game, it's a cross between a couple of games, and one of the game that reminds me is It's a Wonderful World, where you get to gain the resources at the end, and then you just cannot use it in the beginning of the round.
The
So
income?
I find it interesting
Income?
that economy makes it tight kasi na
Yes.
you don't have it at the beginning. So you really have to find a way to somehow be really efficient on doing it. And like what Ron was saying, in the end, you need to have those resources to fulfill all of those that you need to pay
Yeah.
up, or you need to accomplish or to surrender. So I'm interested. It just so happened that we did get to play it last week. We were supposed to have a 2-player
Yeah.
game, but
Yes.
work
And then
happened.
it I know it's so interesting that the variants of the game actually they have components so that you can play it as 5 and 6 player. But I'm guessing they're going
Okay.
like it will take longer. But if you guys really love the game, go ahead. And there's another variant where you can barter. So I'm like, bartering. I immediately said, okay, house rule. You can only barter if it's not your turn. So, so you have a
Oh,
There's
clock
gonna
now.
be a time all over.
You have a clock now. Like, guys, he's about to say done. Come on, let's make the deal. I'm up next.
We should try
So,
this.
so
That's a
I,
good
I
house
think
rule.
Chinatown, and then you
I
have the
think
wonderful
it's a
world.
yeah. It has this splendor look because it has level 1, 2, 3 developments, and each of the
Right.
developments could possibly create you,
Fine.
potential resource. But it's not like an engine that just you funnel stuff and then you outcomes an resource. It's okay. You invest. It really feels like you take your investments, you spend them, and then at the end of that round, finally, when you clock into the first step of the new round, then you get your profit. So it really feels like you take these investment turns and then gain the profit, and then you reinvest them again into other things, then you get the profit. So yeah.
Just like what Earl is saying, right? So
There you
sell
go. That's
your
the one.
rocket.
Huh?
No.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Cool.
Nice,
Cool.
So
nice, nice.
Star Tycoon.
yeah.
One of the my only gripe with it so far is that that box cover really wouldn't give you any motivation to play that game.
So it's pretty and it's acceptable, but it's like
No.
colorful power grid. It's I wish they because the art is actually cute. So one of the art there, so you have corporation. Each corporation they do different things, and one of the corporations um, allow you to sort of internally trade things. And guess who's the art? It's the Ferengi.
Dutre? Vincent Dutre?
No, 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 no. Meaning the alien they depicted are the businessmen in
E.T.?
Star Trek. The
Oh,
Ferengi Ray.
Ferengi.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Ferengi.
So so
right.
so there's this in jokes that they have there that I wish they had more of those characters other than just that. I mean, there's this trophy looking hand and then the galaxy and then stars. Yeah, I wish they just placed the businesses, placed the different galaxies. I don't know. It's game. You guys know one of my favorite video games is
Space food truck, right?
Space Food Truck, right? So that's the art. That's the art inside the game. But I wish they put that in the box because then people would like, oh, this is so cute. Alien space people with green antennae and Futurama look. But yeah, box art not their best.
Not the
But
best.
everything else, the characters, yeah,
What color
yeah,
was the
and then
box?
everything is. Oh, it's a good color. I mean, it's bright. It's
blue.
It's
There you
vibrant.
go.
It just
It's not
doesn't.
green, is it?
It's not green. It's not green.
Not green.
Not ain't green.
Alright. Well, what's yours, Kyo? Star Tycoon.
Oh,
What's yours?
Commander. Yeah, the chance to play Commander again.
Congrats.
I
Did you
rolled
play
back
with banned
my-
cards?
No. Banned cards. No, I rolled back my precon. Yeah, I rolled it back to base precon. So now I have
Nice.
more options
There you
to,
go.
to play again. And yeah, that's the only thing I've been playing. Na analog, digital. A game that hasn't been out. Well, it's been out, but only by invite only on Steam.
Oh.
It's called Deadlock.
Okay.
Now, Deadlock is a
Deadlock.
MOBA. MOBA. I'm
Mhm.
sure you guys are familiar with MOBA, Dota 2, Mobile Legends, and the like. But
Massive online
Deadlock, yeah,
battle arena.
Battle Arena, yes, MOBA.
Okay.
So this one is a third-person shooter MOBA.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you're
What?
Kind of like
Okay.
a.
you're
Yeah.
really in the game. You're off the shoulder of any character you want, and then you're actually playing the MOBA, and then you have to manually trigger your abilities to make the most of your character and how they're supposed to be played. It's not even it's pre-alpha. I don't know what's it called. They never announced it to be alpha. It's only by invite. If you guys want, I'll send you guys invites so you can try it out if it works on your side. It's not high graphical, game. So there you go. So yeah, it's a quick game. There's no records of your application of or your profile. Nothing. It's just a choose your character, play. That's it. Literally, it's the
Nice.
base game, but it's pretty smooth and balanced for
Yeah, right.
Oh,
a
See,
nice.
game as a
that's
novel.
what Desky was saying. He was also invited, but I guess
No
he
play.
opted not to play. Right.
Yeah, again, it's a free thing. I normally stay away from free to play,
Mm.
but
Right, everything's
Same here, same here. Like
mwah.
I wouldn't touch. I wouldn't touch.
I wouldn't touch. I won't say it. People might get mad at me. But I normally don't play free to play games because there's a lot of microtransactions involved, which might
right.
hook you
Yeah,
in. And
and when you're a game
yeah,
designer, you realize how there's always a cost to something. So the
hmm
cost is going to be you, just in one way or form, and you
Yes.
just don't know it. And I don't like that. Like, just give me the cost. I'll pay for it. Don't cheat
exactly.
my life force
And the thing is,
with that.
the idea there is that the moment you spend money on it, the idea that you should play the game more often because you already spent money on it comes
Yeah,
to play.
it
So
feels
you're
like an
like,
investment.
yeah, and then you're
You're
like,
now bound to it. Because sabihin mo,
so
sayang.
sayang. But again,
Yeah.
Deadlock isn't like that yet. So there you go.
Cool.
Literally, it's just and it's made by Valve, mismo.
Oh,
So that's
so
Nice.
that's
Half-Life
pretty good.
people.
Half Life people, people are aching the graphics too. What's the first game they had? Like Counter Strike was
Heretic.
that? No. Valve created the one with the engineer, the heavy, the spy. It's like Counter Strike, but with a. Oh gosh, Balatro. See, Denmark. You're the only
That
one not playing that yet.
Ah,
so good. I mean, I knew it was
So,
good. We Because of Jake. Thank you, Jake.
yes,
So I have
it's
this
gonna
on
be your
Steam,
next week. It's gonna be your next week. So
and then now, yeah. So, go
I
ahead,
should
go ahead.
play my Balatro more.
I'm
Should
not
play my
gonna.
Balatro more.
So you have a lot from Kyo. You had Commander. You
Yeah,
had
yeah.
Balatro, and you had the which one was this?
Deadlock,
Deadlock.
Deadlock. Yeah,
Right.
and also some
Deadlock.
more. I'll show you something else I've been playing around with.
Whoa, moving camera. Whoa,
Ooh,
whoa.
Toys,
Carnage,
nice.
Venom, Spidey, Deadlock,
toys.
Wolverine. Oh, that's so nice.
So I only have five, but these things are big. Look, my hands. It's already that small compared to the figure. It's pretty big,
Did
and
you
they're
get
good.
it
They're
from
cool.
Cool.
from La Shopee?
From La Shopee, yeah, La Shopee.
Got it from La Shopee.
That's
Cool.
me in a
All
nutshell.
right. Me, I haven't been playing any board games so far, but in too far in between free time. It's difficult when you have a 6-year old. There's a lot of things happening in your life, and he's
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
starting to enjoy sports now. So I'm enjoying spending time with him. But every now and then when I'm
Siya
waiting
yung
for
ano,
homework,
siya yung board game mo.
oh yeah, real life.
Oh
Siya
yeah,
yung toy mo.
Management,
Real life toy.
resource management, area
Ah,
control.
that's true.
it's a
Mm.
it's a RPG in itself, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah,
but
yeah.
when I'm
Tower
waiting for him
defense.
How it
or whenever I can
defends.
sneak
Don't touch
a
that.
few a few turns,
And then
I
a
play
bit of
Marvel Snap.
Agricola there.
This is what I play recently.
Marvel
I
Marvel
Snap.
play
Snap.
it
Yes.
because it's quick. It's quick. It's like it's less than 10 minutes and um,
It's Smash
six
Up.
rounds.
Yeah.
It's 6 rounds. Area control, area majority, 2 out of 3, and you just play cards. Highest power wins. Of course, each card has an ability, or not, but you have to combo off from those. So it's quick. Magic sometimes requires setup, but when you play Marvel Snap, it's right there. It's like
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
like
yeah,
one or
yeah.
two turns away from the combo happening. So
And you need to
uh,
overtake 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
bases,
two
correct?
areas out of three,
Two
and
areas at
each
least. Yeah.
each location has different abilities also that might be easier for your cards or difficult. But I like it because it's quick and still gives you that magic combo deck building itch, but in a very
Strategy. Yeah.
condensed
It's
serving.
it's smash
So
up.
yeah,
It's smash up.
Smash
I
up.
know, but Smash Up has more cards. This one has only
No, I mean,
12.
yeah, I understand, and it has limited number of turns, diba?
Right, right.
How many?
So
Ten
that's what
turns ba
I
yun?
6 turns because you get six
Six turns.
energy. So it's like magic.
Yeah,
Each
yeah,
turn
six
you
turns.
get
Yeah,
energy, and every card has a casting cost that
yeah,
you
that's right.
use
That's
your
right.
energy to pay. So on
I
and
should
so
get
forth.
back to that. I have an account there too. I haven't
It's nice. It's
gone back.
nice. They're
Yeah,
about to
yeah.
celebrate their second year anniversary. I think on the 18th.
Ooh,
So they have lots of freebies right now. I just got in. I started last month. And it's easy also to get to the in Magic it's Mythic, in Arena it's called Mythic, in
Mm-hmm.
Snap it's called Infinity. So it's easy naman. You don't need to spend because I think that's what they were planning. No, they did not want to have a game where you buy whatever you need and then you become so overpowered. They really want
that's right.
as much as possible a level playing field, more or less. Or if you're gonna be the spender, you're gonna advance just like a few a few steps ahead, and people
Yeah,
can
there you
still
go. Yeah.
compete with you. So I like that balance. Anyway,
Do they
that's
still
What?
what
have
I've
There's
been.
the?
no pay to win.
Yeah, there's no
You
Free to
between.
can
Yeah.
play pa.
you can spam it,
Well, yeah.
but they have the system. You're not gonna get all your cards. You cannot buy your cards. You unlock chests to get the
Yes,
cards. And the
that's
way you
right.
unlock the chest is you level up current cards that you have. So unless you
Yes.
level up the current cards that you have, you're really not gonna get all those cards unless you're gonna be spending a lot of money. But they're also not available every time. They're random. So it's like for today you're gonna get two cards. It's up to you if you want to spend it. Tomorrow it resets. You get another set of two. So you really cannot buy your way into winning. If that's what
Do
you
they
do.
still have that system where your account levels up, and for every level, there's a certain number of characters you can get? Let's say at level
Yeah,
13, you
but
get
they call
Wolverine.
it the monthly battle pass, where
Oh, Battle
like
Pass. Oh,
right
they
now,
made the Battle Pass. Okay.
so it's called We Are Venom. So you get Venom cards
We
from
are
this month.
Venom.
So that's what they have.
Venom.
So
We
thank you
are
for
Venom.
joining. It's a wrap. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
Yeah, but let me share
We
with
need a
you
cape.
how we got how we got to this topic. Kasi I actually want to hear your thoughts on this, guys. That's why I wanna speed this up and get to the
Mm.
meat itself. But for everyone who's watching, if you know what the topic is, you can see it. But we're gonna explain a little later. We'd also want to hear what the games that revolutionized or changed the gaming hobby for you, the perspective. So I was browsing around posts and forums a few months ago, and I came across this topic and I saved it immediately. I'm like, it's a good topic that we can talk about, especially in our context. So the topic was, what board game revolutionized the gaming hobby without you knowing about it? No, parang low-key revolutionized it. Because if it wasn't
Mm.
a low-key type of thing, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, there's Catan, there's Seven Wonders, there's whatever you can come up with, right? So I
Dominion.
got in, yeah, Dominion. So I got into thinking na let's make it personal, right? So for us, what board games revolutionized the gaming hobby for you? Context, no? Let's say let's paint a context so that we have a common ground here. So we all started into the hobby. You have the I want to consume everything that I could, buy everything I could, right? And at some point, especially if you don't have a game group, it's gonna be stale. But then again, someone introduces this
Mm.
new game to you, and it totally unlocks another side of the gaming community for you and the gaming world for you, and you're like,
Yep. Yep.
there's more. And then it got you just when you thought you were out, they pull you back in. So whatever it might be, right? So maybe two or three games for us that really uh, I want to see made us love the game more, a level up for the one more step into loving this game, no? Na parang, oh yeah, I really love this hobby. It's not gonna, it's not gonna go away for me. There's more to
Oh yeah.
discover. There's more new things to love and to like. So, two or
Mm-hmm.
three, maybe. Let's see if we can get to the time. But that's gonna be six
Sounds
or
good.
nine. That's fine. Whatever.
I'm
All right.
good. I'm cool with that.
Fire.
I'm cool with that.
Okay. Well, why don't you start? You thought about it?
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Sure. One of the few things that I'm not gonna mention it in my progression. Like in the beginning, I'm gonna pull up from everywhere in the in the
In the
timeline.
Sure.
beginning, in the beninging,
In the
In the
beginning,
beginning,
one,
in the
one
beginning,
was
in the beninging.
one was actually Blood Rage. That was one of the
Blood
first ones I
rage.
remember
what?
that yeah, because
War
I was
game.
looking
Mm-hmm.
for a game that is not long because I see people play 40k Warhammer and everything, and I was like, what's a good, quick dudes on a map game that has a little bit of tactics, strategy, and cool stuff, right? So,
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
comes Blood Rage, and it it was when Simon was starting. There was not much of any Simon noise before, and then they
That's
Mm-hmm.
came out with
true.
this great production with this great set of rules. I know it's not a perfect game, but before first time you opened it, it's like, wow, for this price you get all of this. Wait, sorry,
Mm.
price is relative. During that time, it's still expensive as compared to now.
It's still
I got
expensive.
blood.
It
I
still
got Blood
is.
Rage at around 3.5 during that time. If I'm not
Oh, that's
mistaken, 3.5.
that's
I
yeah, that's
think
okay.
now it's
That's
5.5, no? But when you
ooh.
were opening it, it was like, oh, this looks really nice. And then Happy also had one, and he was into it, and I was like, oh, there are a lot of games that are like this also. And then it started, um, me opening into that type of game, the dudes on the map, and then Ron came in and said, dude, you should really try Kemet. You're gonna like this. And lo and behold, one game, I'm like, okay, it's going on my top 10. I don't care what happens. Kemet's going on the top 10. So that's how it started for me. And right now it evolved. The next ones from that line was Ron's Path of Light and Shadow is somehow like that. But it's a deck builder, but it's also an area control and
Mm-hmm.
so that opened up that area for me where look, dudes on the map, but it's not just here's a card, you're dead.
Yeah,
There are other strategies that you can
it's
do,
a
right? So,
Hindi
strategy.
siya
Yeah,
hindi siya, I kick a door.
okay,
And then,
Munchkin, I
I
love
kick
Munchkin
it.
too. However, you guys try to trash Munchkin when you just want to be dumb and just like kick the door, let's play Munchkin, and
I
then pull
kick a
each other's
door.
leg down. So there,
That's good.
I
That's
got
good.
Blood
That's
Rage.
good.
So that was
cool.
one of the games for me.
Nice,
Cool. All right.
nice, nice.
Okay. Kia, you want to go next?
I mean,
Wait,
okay,
time
cool.
first.
Oh,
Time
typers
first.
up. We
Time
have
first.
somebody.
Typers.
Let's read this first, no? So that in between, we can add our comments. For me, it's Star Wars Imperial Assault. I took the challenge of painting the
Woo.
Stormtroopers first, and it took me 2 months to paint.
Ooh,
Congratulations, you finished
ooh.
it. Never knowing painting on white is one of the hardest. Yes, two
Oh,
years along the way now. It's 100 plus minis painted. Thanks, Ray, for that.
Painting.
nice.
Oh
I
gosh.
think this one
Wow.
opened the Pilipintado's door for him. The miniatures world for
Woo.
him, the
Yeah,
miniature
yeah,
painting world.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Revolutionized
yeah.
it
Hey,
for him.
which is very much part of the hobby too. You know, ah?
Right,
Miniature
right.
painting. Oh my goodness. That's
Because
a very
before
good
it was just
example.
cardboards, right? Dead of
Yeah,
Winter came out and they were just cardboard cutouts. I'm like, this would
yeah.
have
There
been
were
better even if it's like acrylic
standees.
or something, right? And then you have it's standard. Minis are now a standard. No mini, no love from the gaming community.
Oh, you're not getting my money for that Kickstarter.
There you go. So it opened two worlds for him. Even Dungeon
Okay,
Nice, nice,
Crawlers.
nice.
Dungeon
And yeah,
Crawls and
Imperial
yeah,
Assault.
yes,
Imperial Assault's very good and
very
yeah,
well
dudes
made.
on the map, war game. Well,
All right,
sort of like a skirmish game. Yeah.
skirmish, yeah,
Kia.
skirmish game. Me,
Cool, cool, cool.
um, I would like to say XCOM the board game. Not because it's co-op. There have been a
Ooh.
lot of cooperative board games around for a
I know
long
I know
time.
what you're coming to. Nice.
But someone who came from a lot of digital gaming, and then suddenly a board game based on a game. Okay, fine. It's an IP. We're not talking about IP here. What I am talking about is that this game revolved around a full-fledged application on any mobile device, which
Yep.
controlled
Really?
the game
Mm-hmm.
mismo. Without that application, you will not be able to play the game because
Right.
it's the AI that actually controls the scenarios. It gives you the problems and it stresses you out, which is the fun part because that's where all of your cooperative abilities or fighting starts to come in.
And or
When
and or.
and or yeah, when faced with a crisis, and then all of you have to work together to ultimately help the guy on the field to eliminate your crisis. Ayun, you need an application. You need an
Right.
application which also works as the UI of one of the players. Like
And
okay, he's the
this was earlier in the development of the app games, di ba? It wasn't.
yes, exactly.
It was in the early
Yes.
stages
Yes.
na
Quite.
they're gonna integrate
Yeah.
app applications into
Yeah,
the
technology. I mean,
into the
there've been
games.
other games that use technology, yes, but not a full application on a cell phone, on your
Yeah.
laptop, just to play the game, which has its own AI rather than a card AI, which is good.
Yeah.
Which told me that these are the games I want to get, or at least
Yeah.
will interest me, no matter how you see it. As long as it's an application that comes with it, this is interesting. Thus, what's my next application game? What do we call this? Forgotten Waters.
Forgotten
Most
and
most
that
most
Alexa game
zoomable
that
game. And
Destinies.
that
yes,
Alexa game that you're trying to
yeah.
uncover
What's it
the
called again?
killer.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's also
Saint
another thing.
Chronicles of
Noir.
Crime.
Saint Noir.
Chronic.
Yeah,
Saint
Chronicles of
Noir.
Crime
Yeah. Saint
was
Noir.
Saint
Woo.
Noir and all that. There you go. See,
Did
so yeah.
did Time Stories have an app? No, no. That's why it has a
No,
lot
it
of
did
pieces.
not.
All
No, it
right.
did
Did
not.
That's
not.
why it
No,
was
it did
a
not.
whole
But
lot of
that
pieces.
game also changed quite a bit how the industry, it wasn't able to follow through fully after.
That's
The
true.
best ones are still the earliest expansions, the base in the earliest expansions, and the others weren't
Yeah.
as good. But I guess the industry also progressed, but it really gave way to sort of like have a curated story experience in a board game form. So
That's
I
true.
think that
Yes.
was
That's
revolutionary.
true. That's true. That's
It
true.
was one of the beginnings na, and then came the legacy games, di ba?
No, no.
Then from
Legacy was
that
way
one,
first. I mean, there was
Yeah,
already
Legacy was
I
before.
mean, because of Time
yeah.
Stories, it now was palatable or acceptable for people to have consumable board games.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
before it was a
Yes.
conversation. Eh. What are you paying for? Are you paying for the experience or are you paying for the components in the game? So
That's
Yeah.
right.
now we have another branch off on how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I remember Dice Tower and Secret Cabal. That was one of the issues before with them. So it was the first time that it was really now front and center. Are you paying? Are you gaming for the experience, or are you gaming to have an ROI on your on your board game? So those,
Correct.
and
Correct.
it started with XCOM because of the apps, and then everything else, and then it branches off
Yeah. And
into
there are
other
so
things.
many good games now that rely on your app, and it's really good. It's immersive. That's what I can
Right.
say. Yeah. That's for
Yeah.
me.
Without
XCOM,
that,
the board
Arkham
game.
Horror games, the dungeon crawlers
Mm.
of Arkham Horror wouldn't be
Oh yeah.
that immersive.
Yes.
The
So
what's that other
Yeah. I mean,
game? The one that
my
in the
favorite of those,
mansion. This is the app.
uh, Mansions of
Madness,
Madness.
Mansions
Mansion
of
of
Madness.
Madness. Yes, the new version, the fifth edition.
Yeah.
Right. That's the one. Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
was good. I tried that with the application itself.
Mm.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah.
You should do it more
So,
often.
dahil saan talaga sa atin si Kiyo yung RPG talaga. Miski sa application RPG pa rin.
RPG pa rin.
No, I
Oh,
mean,
I still love Balatro.
yeah, yeah. No, I think in terms of the barrier of, because you have Tales of Arabian Nights,
Right.
you
Mm.
have the CYOA Choose Your Own Adventure games, and they're good, but you kind of have to
They're
spend
really
on that reading, right? You
right.
have to
Yeah.
do the reading, you have to do the voice acting, and a lot of these app assisted RPGs get you rolling, and then gets
Yeah.
you into the setting, the feel, quite fast. Of course, if you are into the role playing, that is actually there are also quite a lot of good board games now that are in that line. But yeah, good choice. Good
I
choice.
like it because it
Okay.
does the accounting for you.
It
It's
does.
easier. It does the accounting for you.
Yeah.
Everything else, like okay, unlike before.
So yes, yes, but like in any video game, that sometimes now gets diluted. So it's always a very balancing act. Like when you convert a board game into a video game, you lose a lot of its tactile luster.
True. True.
And a
True.
lot of these sort of computations where, oh, why did that go away? Because you're not paying attention to it, then you just, oh, it decided to go away. So it's always brilliant when a game can really tell you, for example, in Destinies and in Chronicles of Crime. Well, it's more so in Destinies because you can actually see them. You can actually see them. It will
Yeah.
tell you to
Yeah. That's right. That's
remove
right.
something from the board because you weren't able to deal with it. Let's say there's this monster ravaging town, and then you didn't go to it for the next for a couple of days. Guess what? It will ask you to now to start removing people from town because it started eating them.
They're not available. They
So
went to another
even
town.
if
Chronicles of
even
Crime does this.
exactly
If you go there
exactly
in the morning, they're not gonna be there in the afternoon. If you
right
go there in
right
the
because
afternoon, then they're not gonna be there
yeah
in the evening.
if you listen well and you're looking through that whole experience, Chronicles of Crime was also revolutionary.
Yeah,
I
like that.
my take on the revolution a little bit more on the analog side. You guys always knew that I was very much into multi-use cards, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Some people don't like because it's, for example, innovation. It is this vomit of icons, just icons, and then
Yeah. Symbol.
so just and then the whole splaying thing, left, right, up, down. People tend to get quite confused, but I and of course the big start of this is Glory to Rome, but I don't have access to Glory to Rome. Uh, but in the simplest form, I always like the idea of a card can be used at least two ways. And you
Mm-hmm.
can see that very apparent in the coin series. Twilight Struggle is a big driver of that, where I can use this as action points, or I can use it for its event, depending if you can do the event. So that already on its own is quite brilliant. But the most one that sort of like was kind of eye opening to me, simply because it was much simpler. It was for everyone. Was Raptor. So
Rap.
Raptor was
Oh, two
this
player.
game, yeah, two-player game where you play as the scientists who are trying to corral the dinosaurs, or the
The
other
baby
player
dinos.
who's
The
playing the
baby
Mama Raptor
dinos.
and trying
Jurassic
to
Park.
save
Pala, no?
her baby dinosaurs. So every time I play that game, I always run the Jurassic Park theme. I will load it up because
Na, na, na,
it just
na,
feels that.
na, 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 na.
But it had this exactly, it had this such beautiful elegance of, hey, here you go, we're gonna choose a card, and depending on our effect, whether whoever is lower is doing the action, and whoever is higher, the distance between is our action points. And that crux, that small, was for me amazing because you're constantly going like, okay, these are all my options, but that move is quite powerful. So what do I want to do? How do I want to do that? Do I want to take that initiative? Do I want to be able to do this? And I really liked it, and then from there I started exploring all of the other multi-use card games, simply because it's there's a single card giving you more options than what it can do. And of course, the incarnations later on, Motainai, they're not related, okay? But I mean, you now have cards that can be used multiple ways. For me, that was quite
Red
eye-opening
7.
because
I
it wasn't
remember
your
Red 7 was from you.
exactly. Red 7 is really good, quick card game,
Yeah,
and it's
Red
a
7.
step above your love letter, where you draw a card, you
Yeah.
read. That was fantastic because it was so simple, but I needed some more depth, and it was so amazing for me to see. Hey, I just have cards, and yet I'm able to do this so much decision simply on cards, and that's where Tainai and all of these. But yeah, the basic idea of multi-use, depending on how it's activated and their variations, that's one of my favorites. That kind of changed how I look at games now. When I saw that.
The simpler the better. Less icons, less
There's
symbols. Yeah.
confusion.
Yeah,
Confused.
no words, just a few icons. I don't want words on
Yeah.
my stuff.
Plus, I noticed games that are good that doesn't require so much, and I'll say it, so much English, written or otherwise.
Right. Right.
Reaches out to a wider audience.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Correct?
we have that it's not language dependent, but not to a sense that it's overwhelming. Like, in a
Yes.
way, people are saying that Seven Wonders is an entry level game. No, it's not.
No.
It's really
Yeah.
not.
Seven
Because you're
Wonders
looking at a lot of
Architects.
things.
Architects.
Seven
That's
Wonders
an interesting
Architects.
Architects
Yes.
is, but the
Yeah.
original Wonders, where you're gonna go to the left side and the right side, and then you're gonna worry about your left and then your right. It's gonna be that's too much. It cannot be.
Yeah.
And I guess
Yeah.
what Kyo was saying, there are certain games that are not language dependent but can really pack a wallop or just really bring the fun. A few more things that came into mind was King of Tokyo. You just roll the dice and then just hit it
Yeah.
and then just go.
Yeah.
You can play it without the cards, and
it's
it's
a
even started
brawl.
without cards.
Yeah, who doesn't like a brawl, di ba? That's good. That's
Dixit,
good.
another one would be
Dixit.
Dixit. That's very language dependent. But yes, I guess I'm gonna jump off from what you said. One of those games that open up another world for me is exactly that thing where it's all symbols but not too overwhelming, because somehow it makes sense when you see it on the board. It clicks, right? And I'm referring to Orleans, right? So it's a bag
Oh.
builder,
Nice.
and at the
Orleans,
same time,
yeah.
you have two maps. If you're gonna look at Orleans when it's laid out, it's like, what the hell's happening? There's too many things happening. There's your own board. There's a middle board with a lot of goods in the middle. There's a place where you can get all the people, and then everything else that you're gonna use for your bag build, right? So with Kyo, when I was teaching that one, and I was learning the game, it was really simple, because get from the bag and mix and match what you need.
Yeah.
What you mix and match, that's the
Plop,
action.
plop them down.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And through that, it opened me through resource management, through through uh, resource management, area control somehow, and then and then the tracks.
You again.
Because Orleans has tracks, right? And those will be your multipliers and how you're gonna score more points.
And the whole
it
navigation of
jumped-
the caravan too.
Right. How you're gonna do that. So there's all that planning, and it also opened me up to Scythe, making it still my number one game, because it has that resources. You do this, it triggers on that one. Does this, it does that. So that's how it goes, no? So that's mine early on.
Cool.
Yeah. Nice.
How about you, Kyo?
Second game.
Yeah.
Second game on my list. You guys already almost expounded it already after I talked about XCOM. And that, folks, is Time Stories. Why? Okay,
Nice.
for all the reasons that Ron and Denmark has mentioned a while ago. Yes, it has spawned so many different kinds of games. the exit games, the unlock games, all those
Mm, mm.
one-time, big time games where you pay to enjoy the experience. The Once you're done with it, you can give it to your friends. You can sell it to your friends. You can sell it. You can give it away, whatever. Forget about it. But you know that you had a good time actually playing it. Now, what's my reason for talking about Time Stories? Now, Time Stories is the only game, and I haven't seen any other game yet so far. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. That Time Stories 1, the white set, all 12, ilan ba yan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 or 10. 10 stories all in all. Time Stories was the only game, and I think is still the only game, that had that quote unquote console and cartridge mechanic. You can see where I'm going? One
Yes,
board
yes.
and then different stories which utilizes the board in different ways without changing the configuration of the exact same board you get out of the base game.
Hmm.
So I'm
I
like,
think the
whoa,
nearest to this
yes,
is
please to tell me.
Final Girl. I think the
Oh,
That's
nearest
the
to this
recent
is
one
Final Girl.
now. Yes.
Yes. The near
okay, good.
at least in my knowledge, but it's solo. Final Girl is
But
solo.
it's solo, it's solo. Okay, this one again is multiplayer. It's
Yeah,
got
yeah.
stories for every kind of different. Again, like Final Girl has got basically the same stories, different mechanics per girl and per monster. Siguro, in Time Stories, it's different story, different author, different way of using the board. Although again, same mechanic by say you visit this place, gain more clues, go through a deck and
Yeah.
get materials, get a legacy type of ano. But the thing is, once you're done with that story, you move up to the next story, which is totally different, and then you would always get surprised. That's one reason why Dice Tower enjoyed the White series because it utilized each story somehow manages to utilize the board in different ways. Like, okay, in the first story, this part is just for the map. Okay. Next thing you realize, whoa, wait a minute, the whole middle part is used as a what? As a map? A bigger map? A map within a map? Why what is this? Diba? So you're like,
Yep,
whoa.
yep.
And this all comes
Yeah,
down to the ingenuity of each of the authors per story. Galing.
yes.
Galing. So that's how I see Time Stories. Now I haven't seen a board yet. Again, maybe Final Girl, but again, the console and cartridge type of mechanic was really such a big thing to me that I'll never sell this, no matter how many times I'll finish it, which I probably won't in my immediate lifetime. No one wants to play with me, but anyway, you will love it. Anyway, so yun. Time Stories with that particular specific and unique mechanic.
Okay. All right. Denmark
Cool.
is saying yeah some internet issues.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay. No problem, no problem.
So I totally agree. Time Stories. I still remember my experience with it. I was playing with the wife, and there was this moment where okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna check this card. She gets the card, looks at it, immediately slams it back.
Like, what?
It's just like it literally as if she saw a ghost in the card. Like that was the like what? And then she was scared to look at it again. Uh, so for it to be able to depict and evoke such experience simply because the mechanics made sense, yeah, it was good. It was really good. Cool.
Which game?
Okay.
Yeah,
Time
exactly.
Stories. Time Stories. Yeah.
Time Stories, yeah,
Okay.
especially if you get the surprise cards, like ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. All right. So my second game,
Mm-hmm.
that again changed the game for me, or at least the hobby in general. That is related to what you're saying, but
Mm-hmm.
it's quite new, and I'm also sort of like in the search now of games that will do it too, and that is Alice is Missing. So Alice is
Oh,
Missing.
Oh yes.
Is well, really a one-shot RPG role-playing game in a box. You play as we played this in our channel many times,
Yep.
in especially during the
Yep.
pandemic. So it was perfect time when it was released. Um, and the way it works is that you guys are playing as a group of friends. And there are these prompts that will happen through the soundtrack that you're playing off YouTube. Brilliant soundtrack, but it will change sort of the feel every 10 minutes. And that's because the story is progressing, and whoever's turn it is to see what story prompt they need to plug in, they will look at the card and it will give them a prompt of what to plug in. And now the role playing aspect of the game is implemented through chat. You have a
Yes. Yes.
private chat with everybody in it, sort of setting the setting. You talk at the beginning, open like this, but then when you start the game, go find your corner. They literally tell you this in the rule book. Once you're happy and you guys understand how to play, go find your corner, and now you get to immerse this new character, and you're allowed to PM other players. So you have a group chat, you now have another group personal chat. You can even spin up other group chats, all because you're playing through this world of teenagers looking for their friend Alice, because she's missing. And it's a
Oh
clocked
man.
game because you are playing for 90 minutes. There's 90 turns to it, roughly. So 10 minutes per turn. So you have 10 minutes to flesh out whatever new prompt was there, new discovery. Then you add in the new one, and then you add in a new one until it climaxes into this wonderful ending, all driven by you. So
Yes.
what for me the revolutionary part of it was I was able to make or to let people who are not familiar with role playing games, I was able to let them experience role playing with a very good assistance, and they don't have it became so natural for them to participate and to be involved. I remember, Keo, you were literally
Yes.
cursing back and forth with
Oh,
one
oh
of the other
gosh, yes.
players in one of your
Yes, I was.
and
And people can only speculate what was happening if you don't show them,
yeah,
because
yeah.
everyone had their own
The group
personal.
chat, the
Yeah.
main chat could be silent. Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
guys, what's going on? Like, where are we? And then somebody,
Exactly.
andito ako sa nasa basketball court ako. May humahabol sa akin. Oh, ano
No,
nangyari
wait.
sa'yo?
May police dito. Ganun. Di ba? Wait,
May nakita
I've
akong
never seen any game that could elicit such multitude of emotions in less than that time period, all on chat.
Yes.
All on
Yeah.
chat.
Di ba? Yeah. So for the ones who haven't experienced it, it's a game that you definitely want to try. There's a few ways of you for experiencing it. You don't have to buy the physical board game. There's actually a PDF of it that you can buy off online. There are other options. They even have the fantasy tabletop uh, version of it. So they have a lot, some options. Of course, the physical card game is still fun. Not sure if I probably have it somewhere here. Um, and
Bring it. I'll bottom
uh,
it next week.
and I just learned that it has an expansion.
Oh, we gotta play that
So
here in this channel.
so now we gotta play it.
We gotta play. We gotta play it here in this
Oh,
channel.
and we were even crazy enough to play it. So of course it's a story that fleshes out on its own, right? But if you
Yes.
play it again with a different set of people, you can after a few months you can easily enjoy it again because a
Yeah.
different set of people will run it differently. Especially if you're the facilitator, you're sort of just helping people coax along with the storyline. Uh, and yeah, the reveal in the end. There's even this part at the very beginning, super cool, which is you have to leave a voice message. So you go in your voice memo, create a voice message. Hey, so you're sending this to your friend Alice. You're leaving a voice message, and you listen to that at the end of the game. sort of like seeing this full circle of like a reveal of like what really happened. Oh, that was you. That's how it panned out. Oh, that's why you guys are not okay with each other, or you guys are so close. Blah blah blah. Brilliant game,
Man,
and I'm now super interested because I'm like, I didn't think they would come up with an expansion for it, but they did. So
is the
I'm so
expansion
interested.
physical or digital?
There's a physical one, and I'm sure if there's a physical one, they would also have the digital one.
Digital. Oh man.
So yeah, yeah. So that's an eye opening, and then there's a few more that I've seen now that's sort of trying to go into that trend as well, just because it's RPG in a box that gets. I think it doesn't get simpler. The simplest one is still Son of Badass by Jay Anyo,
Yes.
because this is the simplest premise of all.
Yo,
Right? So I
badass.
don't. If you guys are long fans of this channel, you can watch our episodes in the past where
That
we
was
play that.
funny. That was hilarious. I
But
still remember
that one is classic RPG.
yeah.
It requires people who are experienced in playing and role playing to sort of really get into it. But the tools that Alice is missing is giving you is so good that you can easily get into the crux of it without thinking about the rolls and damage tables. None of those. None of those. It's simple. Just story. You there's an impromptu aspect of it, and you just go along and you play along, and it's so much fun. Cool. So I
Oh
think
boy.
Denmark is still having some issues with connections.
That's right. That's
Last
okay.
one,
That's
Kyo.
okay. Last one. Okay. Last one. I'll make it simple. I'm gonna get easy. Our all favorite game, Lords of Waterdeep. Okay. So
Oh, nice.
it's because of Lords of Waterdeep that I see people enjoy already the worker placement game. No, I mean the mechanic. Everyone started from there, or at least those people who knew about this game told other people about it, and then when they found different kinds of games that had the mechanic, they're like, "Hey, is this like like Lords of Waterdeep?" So there you go. But I like to emphasize that Lords of Waterdeep was, at least for my time with the back then with my board game journey in the beginning, was that an IP that's very familiar to me, Dungeons and Dragons, can be placed in a board game
Mm.
with a certain mechanic, and even if it was Euro, really bring out the excitement with someone familiar with particular worlds. In this case, D&D. So
Yep.
Lords of Waterdeep is one of those games that revolutionized me with the thinking that an IP can be used properly. An IP can be used properly. You can slap in any mechanic in it as long as it works and it makes sense. You get a good game. And there you go. That's what Lords of Waterdeep does for me. And what it did for me back then, and it still does now. It's the only Euro game I have in my entire collection.
Okay, fair, fair, fair.
Fair
What
enough,
I
fair
like
enough.
about Lords of Waterdeep as a game without the theme,
Okay.
it's still a good game, and
Yeah, of course.
and because of the the look, the what things made sense. People understand still an adventuring party even if they're not necessarily a gamer, um, and so I was able to run and teach this game to quite a lot more non-gamers than I expected. And I was thinking, oh, they don't know D&D. It didn't matter. Oh, these are
Yeah, it
wizards.
didn't
These
matter.
are warriors. You need 3 orange to
The
do this. This is
orange.
that quest, right?
It becomes that simple.
Yeah.
Need three white, two whites,
And
one black.
yes, yes, and so yeah, it's brilliant, and I also still enjoy Lords of Waterdeep. Okay, cool. So me,
Your
the
last,
third
yeah.
one, yeah. Uh, okay, there's quite a few, and I always love deck building,
Who
and I
doesn't?
think deck building is deck building. Of course, Ascension and all of this. But for me, the one that kind of sort of like started this new trend, and I have to give it to Clank. I have to give it to Clank
Oh,
because
the mixing of
I
genres.
so with Clank you're this dungeon delver. You're running through, you're doing deck building, and you're running through this dungeon, and you're now instead of using your cards to just buy and play new effects, you're now manipulating this character on the board, and suddenly it's no longer just deck building. It's now an adventure game. And this opened up so many other things, from, of course, my new favorite, Dune Imperium, where now I can do area control. Tyrants of the Underdark, Dune Imperium, more on economic, worker placement.
Yeah,
Tyrants of the Underdark, you have
area
area
control.
control, and so much more. But it started with this cute rogue running down this
The
dungeon,
dungeon, yeah.
trying to not wake up
The
the
dragon.
dragon, uh,
Clank.
Nikki, who so Nicatorius, also known as Nikki, is the dragon of that dungeon, the very first clank. And the word clank was because when you move around the dungeon, you make noise, and you put
Clank,
this
clank,
noise
clank,
sort
clank,
of like
clank.
this push your luck, where the things that you steal would produce clank. The cards that you play will produce clank, and guess what? If she wakes up, she gets angry, somebody gets hurt, and then you
Someone
have
gets hurt.
lives, right? And then you could, and it doesn't. So now, if you, so if you play clank and you die at the lower depth of the dungeon, sorry, they're not gonna pay somebody to go down and fetch you. But if you're right outside, I think there's a certain bracket where they allow you. They'll get your remains, and then you can score. Your
Yeah,
legacy is
that's right.
preserved.
Just reach that flag if you can. But yeah,
Yeah.
I love that mechanic to us with the number of blocks equals to the number of clanks you got before the
Yes.
dragon wakes up. Ah, that was hilarious.
Yeah. And the whole now, my cards became so much more, and right next to it, because it's almost the same time that they came out. Clank, and then Quest for El Dorado, which is
Oh yeah,
my
yeah,
sort of mechanically, I love it more because it's simpler, but I have to give it to Clank because Clank really kind of changed the game for me. Even if I don't have it in my collection anymore, it was sort of replaced with more new deck builders. But I think it's one of those where, yeah, it's great. Cool.
we
Okay,
have
we have
a
another
comment
one.
here.
So from John, White Castle, new game, fantastic.
Hey John.
It's a surprising favorite. I didn't know that you could play a game with only 9 turns per player. And also finding combos on only one action. It's so satisfying. Because the idea of it is that you take an action and it's pinging off the board. Sort of this,
Mm,
it's chaining
okay,
into
okay.
combos. And it's the kabatch to ni na Star Tycoon. And
Oh,
the the box is so beautiful. It's also Devere, if I'm not mistaken, John. It's published by Devere. Devere is one of those companies now to watch out for. They are hitting it well, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check. I might be quoting it. Devere White Castle.
we got another comment here from
Yes,
Rod.
from Rod, of
Oh
course, Carcassonne.
yes,
Carcassonne
Carcassonne
is
tile game.
is
Oh my
a
god.
yeah, it's a tile game to a certain extent, and it's the reason why those wooden looking. Yes, they're not meeples, but we call them meeples, and some companies trying to claim rights for them calling them meeples. So please don't support that type of behavior. Um, but yes, Carcassonne. You have tiles, and you're just connecting tiles, trying to form castles and farms
Roadways.
and roads
Yeah.
and whatnot. So it's this classic model, but then you can put sort of your meeples, your people to invest and
Game. Yeah.
hopefully it pans out and give you points, right? So whenever you're
Yeah.
able to close off a certain region, then it gains you points, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's also a game where you play the game and then there's a scoring portion. It's another game. You start counting your points based on whatever all of the stuff you deployed. But yeah, it's such a good
This is
game.
one of the first games that actually utilizes a bag rather than a stack of tiles, right? You get it from a
Right.
bag, and then from
Yes.
and a lot of games use that bag mechanic instead of the random deck that comes out, right? No, so that's also one of the pioneering games that actually uses that mechanic, the bag,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
random bag
Yeah.
pull.
Yeah, and just yeah. So there's quite a lot. Actually, it's hard to just pick top three. And off top
That's
of
right.
mind,
That's
it's
true.
those. Um, these are the ones I to me, I still love Power Grid. It still was anybody who you're able to sit through and get through Power Grid, and it's their first time in the hobby. Yes, number one, it's amazing that you're able to have them sit for 3 hours for their first game. But number
Salute
two,
to you for
um,
that.
everything makes sense. So I was able to play Power Grid with my uncle, and at that time
Mm.
he was in his
70s,
late 50s,
late 50s. Okay.
late 50s or the early 60s, if I'm not mistaken. So
And he understood it.
no, late, and he understood it. Well, okay, so he worked for an oil company, so he had some reference, but he understood it, and everything made sense, and he liked it. He was only main beef about it was long, but he was there. He was there, calculating, computing, doing the same thing, adding things up, and so I think that's what's really beautiful about these board games, and yeah. So hopefully, we were able
Yeah.
to inspire you to reminisce the games that impacted your hobby experience or hobby
As a whole.
as a whole. And so again, thank you everyone for joining us today. We hope that you guys have a restful week ahead and play more games, play old games, play the new games also because Prime Day sale. And
Oh!
marami mga parating. Yeah.
Oh!
Ooh. Yes, Prime Day. It's like add to the cart.
Buy it.
Yeah. And then kita-kits na tayo sa Black Friday sale. So,
Like
ano.
Friday sale.
Ipon na lahat ng mga
Ipon.
mga
Ipon.
mga boodle points. Yes. All right. Thank you everyone. Until next time. Bye.
Bye guys. See you soon.